Thank you for inviting me. Still happening? No? Yes? Okay. How beautiful you all are this morning. It's great to be here. I have in the last 3 weeks been to Albuquerque and Dallas, and now I'm here, and this is my favorite place to be. You know, I'd be remiss without thanking also all of our service people. Tomorrow is Memorial Day, and being a veteran myself, I'm so grateful for all of those who have dedicated their lives to the service of our country. Yes? Yeah. So, yeah, really. So good morning, and what a morning to be alive and to be together and to be committed to a way of life that insists on the sacred reality of every human being. And I want to begin with a question. Well, first, let me ask you to look around, and not at the walls or the ceiling or your phone, but look at the faces next to you. Look around at all the faces. What do you see? Really, what do you see? What you're seeing is something the world is desperately hungry for. People who have chosen consciously and deliberately to grow. To begin to see the world differently. And I would wager that more than a few of you arrived here today carrying some doubt. And that's good, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And the truth is that we live in an age of extraordinary contradiction. We are more connected than any time in human history, and yet loneliness has become a global health crisis. We have access to more information than any generation before us, and yet confusion and anxiety and despair are at epidemic levels. We have built systems of breathtaking complexity, and yet millions of people wake up every morning feeling that their lives have no meaning. In the midst of this, Science of Mind has something to say. A clear, loving, transformative yes. Yes to life, yes to possibility, yes to the inherent worth and wholeness of every living soul. Let us not take for granted what Ernest Holmes said in 1926. He gave the world a philosophy that dared to synthesize the deepest wisdom of East and West, of science and mysticism, of ancient scripture and modern psychology. He called it Science of Mind. Holmes believed that there are reliable, reproducible laws of consciousness that can be discovered, practiced, and lived. And the central teaching is breathtaking in its simplicity. There is one life, one intelligence, one presence, and we are its expression. Now, many of us grew up thinking that we were fragments of the divine, a sinner in need of rescue, or an accident of blind evolutionary chance. However, we are each an individualized expression of the infinite presence, endowed with the power to think, to choose, to create, and to love. Holmes also taught that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world, and that consciousness is causative. What do I mean by that? When we are praying, we are not begging a reluctant deity. We are aligning our thinking with the truth of our being. That healing, physical, emotional, relational, financial is natural because our essence, our essential nature is whole, and it is wholeness. I want to speak directly to something I hear sometimes in spiritual circles. The idea that community is a nice add-on to one's personal spiritual practice, but not essential. I can meditate at home. I can read Holmes in my living room. I don't need to go somewhere with a bunch of people I don't know. I want to offer a loving and firm response to that. You're right, and you may be missing something profound. Yes, the divine is accessible to you in solitude, but we are not only individual beings, we are relational beings. We are shaped by our interactions, healed through our connections, and called into our greatness by those who see us and are willing to support us on our spiritual journeys. There's something that happens when 100 people or 300 or 30 people come together in a shared intention of spiritual growth that cannot happen alone. The field of consciousness is amplified. Our individual doubts are met by collective faith. Our private griefs find company. Our personal breakthroughs become a gift to the room. This is why the followers and students of Ernest Holmes created a movement. We are a movement. Because they knew that the teachings required a living laboratory, and a living laboratory is community. And let me say something about the word doubt. The divine is constantly pulling us towards community, and doubt is one of the very forces it uses to do so. Think about that. Think about it. Doubt, stress, and need are the ancient engines of human togetherness. We came together around fires, around grief, around questions too large for one person to hold alone, and that has not changed. When you bring your doubt into this room, you are not disrupting the spiritual work, you are participating in it. And we should celebrate sharing our doubt because it opens a new level of vulnerability, authenticity, and curiosity that deepens communities in ways that certainty alone never could. Your doubt may be the very thing that keeps this community alive and growing. And let me be honest about something else. Community's not always easy, is it? Let me say that again. Community is not always easy, right? When we are in relationship with others, we are sometimes misunderstood, and we sometimes misunderstand others. We might even feel that someone else received the recognition we deserved, or that a decision was made without our input, or that the direction of the community does not match our vision. And so often, everybody has their own vision of what it should be. And often we look at this as a problem or a reason not to be in community, so we run. But the truth is, every encounter offers a chance for growth and healing. Every friction in a community is an invitation to practice what we teach, that there is a presence at the center of every person in this room, that our responses are our responsibility, that love is a feeling and a decision, and that we are capable of holding one another with grace even when, especially when, it's difficult and challenging. A community that navigates its conflicts with consciousness, that models forgiveness and accountability at the same time, that stays together through disagreements without losing its love, that community is doing something miraculous. And here's something else I want y'all to think about. Millions of people have walked away from religious traditions of their childhood, and they have spiritually found themselves unmoored. They know that materialism does not satisfy the soul. They sense that there is something greater to be known, something more in life. And science of mind says you do not have to choose between your intellect and your soul. You do not have to accept doctrines that violate your reason. You can think clearly and pray deeply. You can love science and experience the sacred. You can bring your doubt and deepen your faith. We are a home for the seeker who has been told there is nowhere left to seek. Right now, our world is fragmenting along every conceivable axis. Political, racial, national, generational. The narrative of separation is growing louder and louder and louder. And to that noise, we have a teaching that is grounded in an uncompromising spiritual unity because we are all expressions of one life. This is not a naive statement that erases differences. It is a profound declaration that beneath all of our differences, which are real, and which deserve to be honored, there is a unity that cannot and will not be destroyed. Our communities must be places where that unity is lived, not just proclaimed, truly inclusive, truly diversive, truly able to hold the full spectrum of human experience, including its questions, its uncertainties, its doubt about whether any of this is possible, especially those. So many people today feel like they have no agency, that people, places, and things are determining their shape, the shape of their lives. The economy, the climate, the political system, all of it feels beyond our individual power. And here the science of mind, once again, speaks with particular power. As I said before, we teach that consciousness is causative, that the inner life shapes the outer life. We do not deny the reality of systemic forces. They are real. And justice work is vital. However, without doing the work in your own consciousness, you cannot affect change in the world. And when you change the way you see, the things you see begin to change. This, my friends, is spiritual empowerment. How many people in Lexington right now have never heard of science of mind? How many are suffering from exactly the crises I just named and are drowning in exactly the doubts I just described and have no idea that there is a movement that has spent a century developing tools for exactly that suffering? We owe it to them to be findable, to be present in the community beyond these four walls, beyond any doubt that we were meant to be here, to speak clearly about what we offer without apology. And the truth is, the world will not come looking for us. We have to go into the world. The standard of our work, in our teaching, in our care, in our administration, in our welcome, must match the greatness of our vision. We are carrying a teaching that says the infinite is available to us right here and now. Let the infinite guide each and every one of us, and let it show up in everything that we do. Excellence is a spiritual practice. It is saying to the universe, we take this seriously. And I want you all to keep in mind, we are in a time that demands we do not play small. Playing small is over. It demands that we be willing to say the things that need to be said, to have the conversations that are difficult, to take stands that may not make everyone comfortable. The teachings of Science of Mind are a preparation for full engagement with the world. Our centers should be sending people out into their families, to their workplaces, to their communities, and their political lives with greater clarity, greater compassion, and greater courage. Centers for Spiritual Living spans the globe from North America to Africa, from Europe to Australia, from South America to Asia. We are a global family of communities all committed to the same truth, that the universe is for us and that love is the deepest reality, that consciousness can be transformed, and that when one person awakens, the whole field of humanity is lifted. Imagine what we could do if every center was firing on all cylinders, if every practitioner was doing their very best work, if every minister was talking with courage and love, if every community was sending transformed people out into the world, the ripple effect would be limitless. Ernest Holmes dreamed of a philosophy that leaves everyone free, a spirituality that honors all paths while walking with integrity. A community of communities linked by love and shared purpose, and yes, linked also by shared questions, shared struggles, shared holy doubt. That dream, my friends, is worth building. That dream is what we are. You are that dream. This community carries that dream collectively, together. I want to leave you with this. Somewhere there is a person sitting alone who has given up on organized religion but has not given up on spirit. Somewhere there is someone drowning in grief who has been told to pray harder, but has not been given the tools to actually heal. Somewhere there is a child who has been rejected by their family because of who they are. And somewhere there is someone whose doubt has become so heavy they believe there is no community that would welcome them. You all, this community, this teaching is the answer to their search. You may be the most important thing in their lives that they haven't found yet. So let us be worthy of that. Let us love better, teach deeper, welcome wider, stand taller. Let us be the living proof that a community grounded in the awareness of life, one love, one infinite presence, a community spacious enough to hold both our faith and our doubt, can actually change the world one consciousness at a time. The world is not waiting for a savior from outside itself. The world is waiting for enough of us to realize that the infinite has already shown up in us, as us, and through us. And the moment we stop looking outward for rescue and start looking inward for remembrance, that's when the revolution begins. It arrives like dawn, perhaps slowly, gently, until the whole damn sky is on fire. Yours first, then mine, then ours together. The divine, you see, poured itself into human flesh, into human longing, into human hands, so that love could touch what love has made. We are not the audience to a miracle, my friends. We are the miracle, finally waking up to itself. Peace and blessings. Shall we go into prayer? Sheshe. You didn't know I spoke Chinese, did you? I'm going to invite us all to simply drop into that place. That place where we know there is only one. Feel the energy as it moves in and through, and as our self, our physical self, our hearts, our loving self, knowing that this one presence, this power, this source that creates out of itself, never diminished by its creation, the one power and presence is right here, right now. I know this power and presence as love. I know it as alive, awake, and aware, fully expressing in and through and as each and every soul here this morning, those online and those who could not be with us. Knowing that this power and this presence is love, I also know it as joy. I know it as compassion and passion. I know it as abundance and prosperity, and all of these things, order, power, oneness. But I also know it is no thing. It simply is that which has always been and that which always will be. And as I know this to be the truth of the one source, I know it is indeed true of me and true of each soul within the sound of my voice. And so it is from that knowingness that I speak my word for this community and for each and every individual here. Knowing that the presence and the power and the love and the order that I speak of is already clearly operating in and through each and every soul. I know that for this community, that it is unfolding in perfect and divine order, for there's nothing but the divine, and I know right here and right now that the doors have been flung open to the revolution that is already happening. That this beautiful and amazing community stepping into its next field of greatness is already happening, and nothing can stand in the way of its evolution. Knowing that the perfect minister, the perfect individuals coming through the doors are all in divine perfect order. For there's nothing but the divine. There's nothing but the divine. And so I know that each face, each reflection, each hand, each heart supports, sustains, and maintains this beautiful community through and as love. That indeed love is also a decision. How wonderful and beautiful and amazing it is to be in community and to know that everything is being provided to support this beautiful evolution. So grateful to know this. So grateful to be here. And it is through that gratitude that I simply release my word into the perfect universal law, knowing that the law always says yes. Yes, 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 my beloved, yes. Yes, the place I lovingly call grace, as we all say together, and so it is.